It's Dave's Outdoor Living, and I'm your host, Outdoor Living Dave. And I'm living indoors tonight. I'm living indoors. I have had enough of outdoors. You can take that to the bank. It's wet. It's cold. It's Southern California. And that's a bad combination. So I said tonight, that's it. No more tenting for me. It's too muddy, too cold, too difficult to get anything done. And I had to do laundry. So I came to this lovely place, got my room, came in, and found out that they pulled the washer and dryer. So no laundry here. I'll have to go downtown to the Chinaman that's got the laundromat, 80 years old, and he works every day. Really pleasant old bird. And I'll do my laundry there in the rain. Today at the monastery. What happened today? Today we had visitors at the monastery. Now we don't get visitors very often. The UPS man, a new guest or two, a mountain lion once in a while, but we don't get many guests. It's way out there and there's no reason to come out there. But today a minivan pulls up and I happen to be standing in the parking lot with this wicked looking Thai-made knife, about 1.5 feet long. It's made out of hammered steel. They used a leaf spring or some sort of steel and they hammered this thing out and it looked awful. It looked like something out of a medieval foundry. And it's very sharp. And I was hacking away at some bamboo, and I had my cowboy hat on, my felt one, that one right there. That's an Akubra hat, by the way. If you're into cowboy hats, you need to look into Akubra. They're from Australia. They're very, very nice. And I did not look at all monkish. I'm not a monk, but I did not look at all Buddhist or anything close to it. And this fancy, beautiful new minivan pulls into the parking area. It's a big sandy lot. I may have showed it to you. And we're pretty rustic out there. Pretty simple. We have no electricity. We have running water. And I am the only person up here. And out of this van comes 6 or 7 robed monks, only one of whom spoke a little English. And it was just me with my wicked looking knife and my maikwat, which is a Thai style broom. So eventually they came to me and said, we need to talk to somebody. I had assumed that it was a pre-planned visit. And so none of my business. So that's monk business and I'm not a monk. So that's their thing. Nobody showed up to greet them. Oh, well, I jump right to business when I find that out. And I go down into the Sangha, which is the private area for the monks where they live in their little kutis, their cabins, which are actually quite nice for a cabin. About 250 square feet each. And I found a young monk, Tan Lionel, who spoke no Thai. But there's another monk there, another young monk who's learning Thai. And we found him. And he came up. And none of the senior monks even bothered to show up. They were busy doing something. And these visiting monks from another place, delightful people, spoke no English, but wonderful. And the same order, but they're from a different monastery. So we spent the lovely part of the afternoon just walking around the grounds and taking, of course, they're Asians, they love their photographs, so we took a lot of pictures. And there's this big, fat, bald, white guy right in the middle. That would be me. And that was a delightful experience. So we sent them on their way with a box of avocado, some kumquats, some tangerines, and of course me being ignorant of the rules, which are arcane and numerous rules, did not know that if I offered food to a monk in the afternoon, that of course he can't take it. He can accept it, but he cannot take it, and he has to give it away. So all of that food I gave them, they can't use. They'll have to give it away to somebody else, and they can't eat it. Even if they give it to somebody else cannot re-gift it back to them. Complicated business. At any rate, it was a delightful afternoon to meet some monks. It opened up the day and created a diversion. And as Ton Tim, young kid that speaks a little Thai, said, we muddled through, he and I, an old man and him, and we managed to host our visiting monks with a certain degree of hospitality, formality, and one of whom was a very senior monk, very high-ranking monk. You would call him an abbot or a bishop in the Catholic Church, I suppose. He's very high level, and I think we did not probably accord him the respect that he deserved, probably because we didn't know of his ranking. And in the Buddhist tradition, none of the monks wear different robes. If you're highly ranked, you wear the same robe as if you're a novice, albeit your robe could be somewhat older. And so probably we dropped the ball there. I know I did. I didn't bow. I didn't show any necessary respect. I just didn't know. Next time we'll do better. Wonderful, lovely people. They're off to Palm Springs tonight, Arizona tomorrow, Las Vegas on Saturday. Yeah, lovely day. It's raining like hell. It's just awfully wet right now in Southern California, and will be for a couple of more days. We're hoping for at least a week of dry weather, maybe more. Get everything dried out and everything hammered back into shape before the next storm. But you know what? Could it be springtime after that? So we'll see. That's it for now. I had something else to say, and I don't recall what it is. That's frustrating. All right, very good. This is Outdoor Livin' Dave, and this is the Dave's Outdoor Livin' channel, and we are now indoor living until tomorrow night. Had a snow moon last night, beautiful moon. Stayed with us all night. Bright moon. That was lovely, and a curious thing about it, I mentioned in yesterday's video, there were no coyote or owls, which is a little spooky because we always have coyotes and owls. They are as ubiquitous as the moonlight. They're every day with us, every night with us, hooting and howling, maybe at each other, I don't know, competing for airspace. But they were quiet last night. I didn't hear them at all. Two nights before, they decided to set up course right around my tent. There was obviously one group just to the one side and one group just to the other, and they were going at it in full cry, and it was actually a little terrifying because it woke me from a dead sleep, and it was very, very loud. They couldn't have been 15 feet away, and they were really having a conversation. And it got louder and louder, so it was a cacophony, and I was in the middle of it. So instead of to be caught flat-footed, I got in the middle of the game too and started howling in my sleeping bag in my tent. I was howling and yelling at the dogs to knock it off, and eventually the message got through, because I'm sure the cows said, "What in the hell is that?" Confused them enough to shut them up anyway. So 5 minutes later, that concert was over, and everybody went back to bed. All right, that's enough for now. I probably bored you plumb to death. Thank you and good night.